Heaven. The real heaven. No one who lives in this world has ever seen God. No one has seen and gone to heaven. The heaven that people say they've seen are all illusions, not the real one. All the religious scriptures say that God and heaven are inside our minds. But because man is a sinner and incomplete, he does not have heaven, which is God's world. This is because he lives inside his own mind. Since it is not the mind of the world, neither God nor heaven exists. If you do repentance by discarding your life lived and self, which is the sin, completely get rid of your mind world, which is a false world, and go to the true world, then God exists within you. Heaven exists within you. People think that they go to heaven when this physical body dies. But while living, when your mind becomes the true world's mind, and you are reborn there, then this land, this place, which is heaven, is in your mind at all times. As such, you are born and living in heaven, without life and death. Man is unable to see neither God nor heaven because the world of truth does not exist in his mind. One who has gotten rid of his karma, habits, and body is born and lives in heaven at all times. I'm so excited to share this message with you today. My name is Blake, and I want to talk about how to find heaven within. My whole life, I was so curious about what happens when people die. And why are we here? What is the point of life? And what happens when people die? And throughout my life, through reading books and through asking everyone I knew, I was never able to find the answer. I remember being young and going on a plane and looking outside and seeing the clouds and, oh, is heaven out here? I was looking for a castle or something like that. I was always so curious about this place, heaven. It seemed so important. Like, wouldn't it be important to know what happens when someone dies? And it seemed like no one really knew. No one really understood the Bible or the different books that were out there. So I was always so curious about this. I also had fear about death. The unknown. I always knew I wasn't promised tomorrow, even from a young age. So when I was in college, I studied business, but every chance I got to take an elective in religion, I did. And during that time, I got to read the Bible, the Buddhist Sutras, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita. And it was so interesting to me that all of those books said that God, Buddha, Allah, or the universe was within. And that heaven and paradise was within your mind. So I always wondered, how could I actually do that? Because I went to different places of worship and I went to different places where they're doing meditations, and no one seemed to have a method how to actually achieve that. My wife found a place where not only were people getting rid of all the stress in their mind and becoming super happy, but they were enlightening the ways about the world and enlightening that they had God within. So I went to go check out this place, and actually it was true. After diligently discarding all my false self, I was able to realize that heaven is within. Heaven is within, God is within. So I'm so excited to share with you what I learned there. So what they taught me there was that the human mind is made of the karma, habits, and body. So the karma would be the life lived. You see, this body acts exactly like a camera from the time we're born. With the eyes, nose, ears, mouth, and body, we take pictures of everything. From the house we grew up in, elementary school, middle school, high school, 20s, social life, everything up until now, and accumulated inside. And what happens is, instead of living in the world, people live inside their own mind's world. This is why people are incomplete. It's an illusionary world, it's not the actuality. So they live inside their own mind world instead of living in the world. That's what happened with us. So this human mind is made of the karma, which is that life lived. It's also made of the habits. And the habits are the things that we got from our ancestors. If you go to the doctor, they're going to ask you, do you have a family history of cancer or heart disease? Not only do we inherit those things, we also inherited all of the minds. Through this place, actually, there was a way to discard those too. And also, lastly, discarding the mind of the body. If you discard all of those, here becomes God's world. So people ask, how can I know that God is within? So first, what is God? That's the infinite emptiness. I can't draw the infinite emptiness. Let me just represent it like this. So this existence that existed forever before, is here now, will always be here forever after. Everything came from here. Even now, gas explodes, cools down, stars come out, the moon, the sun, the earth, all the creations we have are just the embodiment of this. People too. But what happened was we came out and this body is exactly like a camera. With the eyes, nose, mouth, ears, body, takes pictures of everything and imprints it inside. So really, we turned our back on the world, which is God, and started to live inside our own mind's world. Overlap this world. If I pull it out to draw like this, the world in my mind and the actuality of the truth is completely overlapped. So instead of living the world, people live inside their own mind's world. So really, we turned our back on the world, which is God, and live in our own world. That's really what sin is. We just started to live in our own self-centered mind world instead of actually living here in the world. And that's where all the problems come from. That's why people are incomplete. That's why people do not have God, Buddha, Allah, or the universe within, or heaven in their mind, because instead, there's this in the mind. So at this place, there's an actual method how to discard all this human mind, how to discard this false self and false world completely. If you discard the karma, habits, body, and go back to here, then you can be born again from there. Then you never die. At that time that I discarded the karma, habits, body, and was reborn from here, that was unbelievable. I couldn't even sleep at that time. I'm not somebody who was originally happy. I wake up now every day joyful from this. Amazing, true happiness. I'm the healthiest I've ever been. And I know that I have heaven within me while living. Here became heaven. Heaven is not a place we go when we die. That's a lie we were told. We gotta go there now. We gotta go there while we're alive. We're not here just to live inside here and stress and pain and worries and die and disappear. There's no point. It was just told to us, oh, you just go to some great place when you die. Actually, we gotta go to heaven while we're alive. And when I was young, I always thought, oh, it's a shame because I'll never know about heaven or what happens when someone dies because I would have to die. Well, actually, if this false self and false world disappears completely, it's really like death of the false self. And you can get resurrected, reborn while living. And here becomes heaven. Here becomes God's world while living. You can confirm you have God within. You can confirm you have heaven in your mind and heaven within while being here. This is the reason and purpose why we came to the world. I really hope that everyone can achieve this. I really hope you got a lot out of this, and I hope it motivates you to want to check this out.
If you would like to find your true self, please email. Thank you.